silent pull of emptiness. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, dark forest. The air is thick with mist, and the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. Each step you take forward fills you with both curiosity and hesitation. You know there's something ahead that calls to you, but you can't quite put it into words. It's not something material or external, but something much deeper. An unshakable sense of emptiness within you, like an invisible weight pressing on your soul. Have you ever felt this? The subtle but persistent feeling that you are disconnected from the life you are living? You go through the motions following routines, meeting expectations, achieving goals, but something inside whispers, "This is not it." Something is missing, but you can't identify what it is. It feels as if there's a part of you that's not fully present, lost within the life that you've been living. Carl Jung, one of the most influential figures in psychology, understood this sensation better than most. He spent his life exploring the hidden depths of the human psyche, seeking to understand why we feel the way we do. According to Jung, this inner void is not a flaw. It's not a sign that something is broken inside you, nor is it a problem to be solved. Instead, it is an invitation and urgent call to begin the most important journey of all, the journey toward discovering your true self. Jung saw the feeling of emptiness not as something to be avoided, but as a signal. It is a sign that you've drifted away from your authentic self. The path ahead may be unclear, but this void is the first step towards self-realization. It is a sign that it's time to turn inward, to question the roles you've been playing, and to reconnect with who you truly are. The journey to self-discovery begins here by acknowledging this emptiness and understanding it as a guide rather than a curse. T2, the persona, the mask we mistake for ourselves. We all wear a mask, often without realizing it. This mask is called the persona, and it's the outward identity we present to the world. From a young age, we are taught to fit in, to behave in ways that society expects, to seek validation from others. The persona is a tool that helps us navigate life's social structures, family, friends, work, and community. It helps us survive by gaining approval and avoiding rejection. The persona is essential for social interaction. It is necessary for functioning in society. But here's where the problem arises. Over time, the persona can become so ingrained in us that we begin to identify with it. We start to think that the mask is who we truly are. We wear it so often that we forget what lies beneath it. Jung believed that the persona is not the real self, it is a role we play to meet the demands of the world around us. The trouble comes when we get caught up in living for others' expectations, when we begin to shape our lives based on what others want or approve of, rather than what we truly desire or need. The more we invest in this mask, the further we drift from our authentic self. The persona can create a gap between who we truly are and the person we present to the world. The more we invest in this outward-facing identity, the more disconnected we become from the true self beneath the surface. And this gap, this distance between the mask and the true self, is often where the feeling of emptiness begins. Jung suggested that the persona serves a protective function, but it can also lead to a profound sense of inner conflict. The longer we wear the mask, the more we lose sight of who we are at our core. We become trapped in the roles we play, and the real self, buried beneath layers of social conditioning, becomes harder and harder to access. The journey to self-discovery begins with questioning the persona. Who are you beyond the mask? What parts of yourself have you buried to fit in? When you begin to recognize that the persona is just a role you've been playing, you can start to reconnect with the deeper, more authentic parts of yourself. Only when you do this can you begin to fill the emptiness, not with external validation, but with your own truth. 3. The shadow self, what we were told to hide. Beneath the mask of the persona lies something even deeper, the shadow self. This is the part of us that we have rejected, suppressed, or denied. The shadow holds the emotions, desires, and aspects of our personality that we were told to hide. These are the parts of us that didn't fit the mold we were taught to follow: anger, shame, fear, or even unacknowledged talents and strengths. Jung believed that we all have a shadow self, those parts of ourselves that we have been taught to hide or reject because they don't fit with society's expectations. But here's the paradox. The more we suppress the shadow, the more powerful it becomes. The aspects of ourselves we try to deny don't just disappear. Instead, they linger beneath the surface, quietly influencing our thoughts, behaviors, and choices in ways we might not even be aware of. The shadow is often seen as a container for our dark traits, our weaknesses, our flaws, our impulses. But Jung argued that it's not only made up of negative qualities, it also contains unexpressed potential creativity, power, vitality, and aspects of our personality that could help us grow if we allowed them to emerge. When we fail to confront our shadow, it can create a deep sense of inner conflict. We might find ourselves engaged in self-sabotage, repeating destructive patterns, or feeling disconnected from our true selves. But the key to healing and growth lies in facing the shadow, by acknowledging it, rather than running from it. The process of confronting the shadow is not easy. It requires a willingness to face the parts of ourselves that we'd rather not see. It requires self-compassion and patience. But it also offers the potential for profound transformation. When we allow the shadow to emerge and integrate it into our lives, we reclaim the parts of ourselves that we've buried for so long. These hidden parts hold the key to our inner strength, creativity, and true potential. Jung called this process shadow work. It's the conscious effort to bring the unconscious into the light, acknowledging what has been repressed and embracing it without shame. The more we engage in shadow work, the more we understand ourselves on a deeper level, and the emptiness that once haunted us begins to fade. The shadow is not the enemy. It's not something to fear. It's an integral part of who we are, and by embracing it, the journey toward wholeness begins when we stop avoiding the darkness and start integrating it into the light. 4. Death before rebirth. Transformation is never easy. It often requires us to go through a process of letting go, a shedding of the old self. Just like a caterpillar must dissolve in its cocoon before it can emerge as a butterfly, we too must experience a form of death before we can be reborn into our true selves. This death is not literal. It is the death of the ego, the false self that we have constructed over the years. The roles we play, the identities we assume, the beliefs we hold, and the expectations we carry, these are all parts of the false self that have been shaped by external influences rather than by our authentic essence. In order to become whole, we must let go of these attachments to the old self. Carl Jung referred to this process as individuation, the journey toward becoming our true, authentic selves. It requires us to confront the parts of us that are outdated, untrue, or no longer serve us. It requires us to let go of the roles we have been conditioned to play and the identities we have accepted in order to survive in the world. The death of the ego is not easy. It can feel like losing a part of ourselves, like a kind of mourning for the person we thought we were. But in truth, this is the necessary step toward rebirth. The old self must be dismantled in order for the new self to emerge. The cocoon must dissolve for the butterfly to spread its wings. This process can feel painful. It often involves letting go of old relationships, abandoning old beliefs, and stepping away from the familiar comfort of the life we've built. But it is in this letting go that the most profound change occurs. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of something going wrong. It is a sign that you are undergoing a transformation, one that will ultimately lead you to a more authentic and fulfilled life. Jung believed that this process of transformation requires great courage. The ego resists change because it fears the unknown. It whispers that staying in the old roles, even if they are painful, is safer than venturing into the unknown. But the real danger is staying stuck in the old self, never allowing yourself to evolve. Just as a caterpillar must trust the process of dissolution to transform, we must trust the process of letting go. It is only by releasing the old self that we make space for the new. The path to transformation is not a straight line, but it is the only path that leads to true freedom. 5. The return home, becoming who you truly are. After the death of the old self comes rebirth. The journey doesn't end with the dissolution of the false self. It's only the beginning of the real journey, the return to your authentic self. You've shed the layers that no longer serve you. The roles, the masks, the conditioning you have, let them go. But now, the real question is, who are you, truly? Jung's concept of individuation is about integration, about uniting all the fragmented parts of yourself and creating a whole, authentic being. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about rediscovering who you were always meant to be beneath the layers of social expectations and self-imposed limitation. For many, the process of individuation feels disorienting. You may feel lost in the transition. The roles you once played no longer feel like they fit. The identity you built around the persona now seems foreign to you. But the journey to self-realization is not about creating a new identity. It is about returning to your true essence, the self that has always been there, hidden beneath the mask. This is where the journey becomes truly transformative. When you start to reconnect with your authentic self, you no longer feel the emptiness that once haunted you. The restlessness that once seemed like an unexplainable void begins to fade. It's replaced with a deep sense of alignment and peace. You know who you are, and you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others. But this process of self-discovery is ongoing. You don't arrive at your true self all at once. It's a journey of continuous unfolding. There will be moments of clarity when everything feels right and you can fully embrace who you are. And there will be moments of doubt when the pull of old habits and conditioning tries to drag you back into the roles you've outgrown. But each step, whether clear or uncertain, is a part of your evolution. As you continue on this path, you will begin to see the world differently. You will see that the feeling of being lost was never about lacking direction. It was about being disconnected from the truth of who you are. Now, as you rediscover your authentic self, you will find that the journey has always been about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. The return to your true self is not a destination, but a journey of continuous exploration and growth. Every challenge, every struggle, every moment of doubt brings you closer to the most authentic version of yourself. And that version is powerful, whole, and free. T6. The shadow's important. The journey towards self-realization is not just about embracing the light, but also about accepting the darkness within. This is where the shadow plays a pivotal role. As we discussed earlier, the shadow consists of those parts of ourselves that we have rejected, denied, or been taught to hide. It holds the emotions, desires, and traits that don't fit with the image of the ideal self we have been conditioned to aspire to. However, what many fail to realize is that the shadow is not just the dark side of ourselves. It's also the keeper of immense potential. Within the shadow lies hidden creativity, untapped energy, and raw power. It is only by confronting and integrating the shadow that we can access this dormant potential and use it to create a more authentic and fulfilling life. Jung believed that the shadow is essential for personal growth. It holds the key to our wholeness. When we avoid or suppress the shadow, we cut ourselves off from parts of ourselves that could help us grow. By embracing it, we are not simply acknowledging the dark aspects of our personality, but also reclaiming the parts of us that have been lost, hidden away, or repressed over the years. The shadow is an integral part of who we are. It's not something to be feared or rejected, but something to be integrated. The process of shadow work is not just about confronting the bad parts of ourselves, it's about bringing all of ourselves into the light, embracing both our strengths and weaknesses. When we do this, we become whole. To face the shadow requires courage. It means going into the depths of your psyche and exploring the parts of you that you've avoided or ignored. It means letting go of the judgment that often accompanies these hidden traits and accepting them without shame. The more we do this, the more we reclaim our personal power and move towards self-realization. The shadow's importance cannot be overstated. It is the key to transformation. By embracing our shadow, we tap into the deeper layers of our psyche, unlocking our fullest potential and finally becoming the person we were meant to be. Wholeness comes not by avoiding the darkness, but by accepting it as a part of the journey. T7. Embrace the light. After confronting the shadow and integrating it, the journey takes another step forward. You face the hidden parts of yourself, embraced your flaws, and recognized the power within your darkness. But true transformation doesn't stop there. Now, you must begin to embrace the aspects of yourself that are aligned with your true essence, your potential, and your purpose in life. Once you've faced your shadow, you will start to see the full picture of who you are. You will understand that light and darkness are not opposites, but complementary forces that, together, make you whole. The light represents the potential, the strengths, the talents, and the wisdom that you've always had within you, but might have been too afraid to access. It's time to let these qualities shine. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming the true self, is not just about facing your fears and repressed desires, but also about nurturing the positive qualities that make you unique. This is the moment when you begin to fully step into the world as your true, authentic self. You start to express your talents, your creativity, and your strengths with confidence, without fear of rejection or judgment. But embracing the light also means stepping into a new role, one that is more in line with your true self. You no longer need to hide behind the mask of the persona or play the roles that society has imposed on you. Instead, you begin to express yourself from a place of authenticity and strength. You live your life based on your own values and desires, not on external expectations. Embracing the light doesn't mean perfection. It means accepting that you are human, and that part of being human is the continual process of growth and transformation. There will still be challenges, and you may still encounter shadows along the way. But now, you have the tools to face them, and you have the clarity to continue moving forward with your true self. The light you embrace is the light that has always been there, waiting for you to recognize it. By allowing yourself to shine, you not only transform your own life, but you also inspire others to do the same. The process of embracing the light is not just for you, it is for the world around you. Key 8. Conscious and unconscious. One of the most profound insights in Jungian psychology is the understanding of the relationship between the conscious and the unconscious. The conscious mind is what we are aware of our thoughts, decisions, and perceptions in the present moment. It's the part of us that is logical, rational, and in control of day-to-day activities. But beneath the surface of consciousness lies the vast realm of the unconscious, an immense and powerful force that shapes much of our experience without us even realizing it. Jung compared the mind to an iceberg. The part of the iceberg that is visible above the water represents the conscious mind, our immediate awareness and thoughts. The much larger, submerged portion represents the unconscious, which holds our deepest fears, suppressed desires, unresolved emotions, and even forgotten memories. These hidden aspects of the self influence us in ways that we don't always understand, and they can impact our behavior, our relationships, and our choices. The unconscious mind is not merely a storage space for repressed material. According to Jung, it is a living, breathing force, a dynamic part of our psyche that plays a significant role in shaping our reality. It holds powerful, symbolic images, dreams, and archetypes that provide us with insights into our deepest selves. And yet, we often remain unaware of these forces, leaving them to control our lives without our conscious input. This unconscious material doesn't just exist in isolation. It is also shaped by the collective unconscious, a concept unique to Jung's work. The collective unconscious is a shared level of consciousness that transcends individual experience. It contains universal symbols and patterns archetypes that are inherited from previous generations and shape the way we view the world. These archetypes, like the wise old man, the hero, the shadow, and the mother figure, are not just characters in myths and stories. They are part of our own unconscious, influencing our instincts, beliefs, and behaviors. The archetypes are deeply embedded in our collective psyche, affecting the way we see ourselves and the world around us. They connect us to something much greater than ourselves and ancestral wisdom that guides us through life's challenges. The key to self-discovery is to become aware of these unconscious forces and to understand how they shape our behavior and perceptions. When we begin to acknowledge the unconscious mind, we take the first step toward reclaiming control of our lives. We stop being slaves to hidden forces and begin to align our conscious actions with the deeper truths of our unconscious self. In the next part, we will explore how confronting these unconscious narratives and archetypes can lead to powerful breakthroughs in your personal journey. 9. Integration of the true self. As we embark on the journey of self-discovery, we reach a crucial turning point, the integration of the true self. This is the moment when we begin to bring together the fragmented parts of ourselves, those parts that were once hidden, rejected, or forgotten, and make them part of who we truly are. It's a process of reclaiming the totality of our being, not just the aspects that fit neatly into society's expectations, but the deeper parts of us that hold our true essence. Jung believed that the process of individuation, the path to becoming whole, requires this integration. It's not enough to simply acknowledge our shadow or to embrace the light within us. We must merge both aspects of our being, accepting all parts of ourselves without judgment. This is what it means to become whole, to live in alignment with your true self, embracing both the light and the shadow, the strengths and the weaknesses. The journey of integration is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It requires ongoing reflection and self-awareness. We must be willing to confront the unconscious material that surfaces along the way and integrate it into our lives. This may involve revisiting old wounds, challenging outdated beliefs, and letting go of the false roles we've been playing. But with each step of integration, we come closer to our authentic self, the person we were always meant to be. One of the most profound aspects of this process is that it allows us to move beyond the limitations imposed by society, family, and culture. We stop living according to the script that was handed to us at birth and begin to write our own story. The integration of the true self frees us from the confines of external validation and allows us to live a life that is truly our own. This process also has a deep impact on how we interact with the world. When we are integrated and whole, we no longer feel the need to project a false image or seek approval from others. We are able to show up as our authentic selves, without fear of judgment or rejection. This authenticity radiates outward, influencing our relationships, our work, and the way we navigate the world. To integrate the true self is to live with full awareness of who you are without hiding, without fear, and without compromise. It is to accept yourself fully and to embrace all of your experiences, even the painful ones, as part of the journey toward wholeness. It is a powerful process, one that leads to liberation and self-empowerment. In the final part, we will explore how this integration opens the door to creation and freedom, the ultimate realization that you are no longer limited by your past, but free to create the future you desire. 10. Creation and freedom. As you reach the final stages of your journey towards self-realization, you enter a realm of creation and freedom. The integration of your true self, the light and the shadow, the conscious and unconscious, has brought you to a place where you no longer feel confined by external expectations or the roles you once played. You are free to create your life based on your own values, desires, and passions. Jung believed that individuation is not just a process of self-discovery, it's a process of self-creation. Once you have embraced all aspects of who you are, you gain the power to shape your life from a place of authenticity. No longer constrained by the mask of the persona or the unconscious forces of the past, you can now express your true potential fully. This newfound freedom is empowering. It's the freedom to live life on your own terms without being shackled by fear, doubt, or the need for approval. You can pursue your passions, take risks, and make choices that align with your authentic self. The inner void that once haunted you is now filled not with distractions, but with the essence of who you truly are. In this space of creation, you also begin to see the world differently. You no longer feel lost or disconnected. The external world, which once seemed to be at odds with your inner desires, now becomes a canvas for your authentic expression. You are no longer living according to someone else's script. You are writing your own story, creating your own path. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This process of self-realization and integration allows you to step into your full potential. You become the creator of your own destiny, not bound by the past or limited by societal constraints. You now possess the freedom to shape the future you desire, free from the fear of judgment or rejection. The journey is not without its challenges. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the pull of the old self threatens to drag you back. But these moments are part of the process. They are opportunities for growth and further integration. The more you embrace your true self, the more you become aligned with the universe, and the more you experience the profound freedom that comes from being authentically you. Now, as you step into this new chapter of your life, remember that the journey is ongoing. The path of self-realization never truly ends. It continues to unfold as you evolve, grow, and create. But you are no longer searching for yourself. You have found your way home.